So there is something fascinating happening in the lottery right now, and not enough people are paying attention to it. But basically, the Mega Millions is fumbling hard, and it's a great example of an organization not understanding its product or its user base. Basically, up till this point, the Mega Millions and the Powerball have functioned essentially identically. They are a $2 ticket for a 6-ball game, which is 5 regular numbers and then 1 special number that you have to get correct in order to unlock most of the payouts. They have pretty similar jackpot levels, etc., etc. You can also spend an extra dollar, so a $3 ticket, which unlocks a multiplier that is added on the back end, like a ×2, ×3. I think I once saw a ×7, but usually it stays pretty low. And this happens after the drawing. So my guess is it's based on the amount of revenue or the winners there are, so they can maximize their revenue. Now, what the Mega Millions did was they changed the way their game is played just a little bit. They raised the price, and now they have a higher initial jackpot, which went from 20 million to 50 million. And they also added a randomized multiplier, either 2, 3, 5, or 10x onto your ticket before the drawing. So now you have your multiplier added before the drawing even happens. Now, the problems with this occur with how much they raised the price. They raised it to $5. This immediately devalues their ticket by a crazy amount. See, in the original one, so the only major difference between the two is that they now add the multiplier on at the beginning. Well, in the initial game, it was $2 and you raise it to $3. So that's a 50% increase to ticket price in order to have the potential of getting an extra 100% or more return on your ticket. So immediately the value proposition is pretty high. What the new ticket price is doing is changing the value added proposition significantly. Basically, they're increasing the price of the ticket by 150% for the chance of getting a minimum 100% increase in your return over what the Powerball is right now. Already not looking great. And on top of that, based on the $3 ticket price going to $5, that's a 66% increase to the ticket price for no discernible extra benefit. Like, it's, adding or changing the initial jackpot is like, yeah, that seems like a benefit, but most people don't play those games until the jackpot is significantly higher, like 250, 300 million. So that initial increase to 50 million is basically irrelevant. Now, how do we know that it's failing? Well, the jackpot numbers is what we need to follow. In the original game, they started at 20 million, and the jackpot would usually go up somewhere between 8 and 20 million every week until you get to the higher numbers, and it goes crazy because the amount that the jackpot is increased is based on the revenue that is brought in by the tickets. So when there was a little bit more, you get a little bit more. Usually you'd see early on it would increase from 8 to 12 or sometimes to 15, and that number would shift all over the place. So if you want to see if they're not getting enough revenue, it's the jackpot stays low and it goes up by an even amount every time. The Mega Millions jackpot has increased by only 10 million every single drawing for the last 10 or the last 6 drawings, which my assumption is, because it's an even number and because that's what it's gone up by every time, that is the base amount that their jackpot has to increase every week based on their rules. And granted, this is without doing any research on the back end about revenues or things like that. So what that tells me is they have not been bringing in enough revenue to increase the jackpot by any large, identifiable amount. If that's the case, this is a disaster. This has been a disaster. Like I said, 6 drawings, it has been going up by 10. That means they haven't gotten enough revenue in basically 2 weeks to increase the jackpot by any measurable amount. Powerball is basically eating their lunch right now. It just shows that they don't understand. I mean, I can understand if they were a focus grouping and say, hey, do you like the changes to these games? And people went, yeah. And they're like, cool, let's do that. But increasing your ticket price by that much and not realizing that you are devaluing your ticket until it gets into super high levels. Like when it gets into the higher numbers, like over 500 million, you're going to see their values, just their jackpot values take off in my opinion. But until that point, they're going to get like no revenue. This easily, I feel like this is easily one of the biggest mistakes that an organization has made in a very, very long time, especially because they have a direct competitor sitting right next to them in the form of the Powerball that is now a much better value proposition than their own because they devalued their own tickets so much. Anyway, for those who stuck with me on this, I think this is an absolutely fascinating thing to watch. I just like watching the number go up on the lottery in general, but this has been, it's just been fascinating to watch the downfall of this, because it only happened a few months ago, and it has not worked out for them based on what I can see.